And two more deaths on Oahu roads over the weekend in what's become a much too common story. Good afternoon, I'm Jonathan Masaki sitting in for Ashley Nagaoka. A 23-year-old man is dead after a crash involving a moped and bus occurred. This happened at about 2:45 yesterday afternoon near Ko'oloa Beach Park on Kamehameha Highway. Police say the man was trying to do a wheelie when he lost control and collided head-on with the oncoming vehicle. He was not wearing a helmet. No other injuries were reported. Meanwhile, a 19-year-old man was killed after a single car crash Saturday morning in Kapolei. Police say he was speeding down Farrington Highway at about 2:30 a.m. when he lost control and hit the center median. His car flipped multiple times, sending the man and an 18-year-old passenger onto the roadway. The passenger was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Neither of them were wearing a seatbelt. This year, there have been now 48 deaths on Oahu roads. That's more than doubled the count from this point in 2024. A showdown in Texas over redistricting came to a head this afternoon. Democrats blocked the Republican-controlled Texas State House from voting on a newly drawn congressional map that could give the GOP 5 more seats in Congress. Erica Brown has the latest.
Members, a quorum is not present.
The Republican-controlled Texas House of Representatives was unable to vote Monday on a newly redrawn congressional map that would favor Republicans after dozens of state Democratic lawmakers fled Texas, including some to Illinois and New York.
This is about representation, about fairness, and about the integrity of our elections.
In response, the Texas House passed a motion to compel the absent lawmakers to return or face arrest.
Leaving the state does not stop this House from doing its work. It only delays it.
Texas Republicans hold 25 of the state's 38 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives, but the new map would give the GOP an advantage in at least 5 more seats. President Trump pushed for the changes in Texas to avoid Republicans losing control of the House in the midterms, as they did in 2018. Texas Governor Abbott says the new map addresses constitutional concerns raised by the Justice Department. Now, a number of Democratic governors in blue states are threatening to retaliate.
They're leaving us no choice. We must do the same. There's a phrase, you have to fight fire with fire.
But they could face legal challenges. Texas is one of the few states that allows its state legislature to draw congressional maps and allows mid-decade redistricting. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Now back here in the islands, the evacuation gridlock during Tuesday's tsunami warning could have had life or death consequences. Now that's according to research conducted 3 years ago by a University of Hawaii graduate student. A computer model simulated a worst-case scenario of a tsunami generated from Hawaii Island. That would give Waikiki's 18,000 residents, along with visitors in about 29,000 hotel rooms, just 30 minutes to find safety. It says that those trying to leave Waikiki by car would have a 40% fatality rate, or about 11,000 deaths.
That I saw, wow, the traffic that I was just simulating and predicting is happening. It was very interesting to see in reality, but I'm very happy that the tsunami waves didn't reach Hawaii.
The research says that vertical evacuation, or heading to higher floors of high-rise buildings and hotels, would have a 100% survival rate with just 22 minutes of notice. Even though we are no longer under a red flag warning, some Lahaina fire survivors say they're still on edge as drought conditions continue. Last week's high winds reminded Shannon E'e of the conditions that sparked the tragic blaze nearly 2 years ago now. She says emotions are high with the August 8th milestone only days away. Tuesday's tsunami warning added to the tension.
Having this warning, there is some sort of understanding that we are prepared. Lahaina is always prepared when, because of what we went through, I think everybody has a bag packed. Mentally, everybody is like in preparation, like, oh my gosh, we're on edge. We don't know really. You just never know.
Now, meanwhile, the Hawaiian Electric Company continues to watch for the high wind gusts and the low humidity as drought continues continue. They're urging customers to register for alerts to learn about potential power shutoffs. Big changes are coming for one of the state's busiest parking garages. Now, starting next Monday, the South Street lot near First Circuit Court will become fully automated. That means you don't pay an attendant anymore. Drivers, including jurors and court staff, will need to pull a ticket and pay at a kiosk before exiting. The state says the move will improve safety and efficiency. Staff will be on hand for the first 2 months to help folks adjust. Now, turning to national news, firefighters in California are battling several wildfires that flared up over the weekend. Some have grown quickly, and there are reports of injuries. Jason Allen is on the ground with the latest.
Firefighters faced ferocious dark orange flames that raced up this steep hillside. Acres of dry brush, some up to 6 feet, fueled the walls of fire.
This is a very rapidly fast-moving fire. It takes a lot of personnel to take on something of this size.
Air tankers dropping fire retardant dealt with winds fanning the erratic flames. Nearly 50,000 acres are scorched across Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo counties. About 100 miles north of San Francisco, the lake fire spread to more than 300 acres, prompting evacuation warnings. In Reno, Nevada, the fast-moving 75-acre Peavine fire forced residents to evacuate. Those orders are now lifted after crews were able to contain the fire. And in Arizona, the Dragon Bravo fire near the Grand Canyon's North Rim has now burned more than 116,000 acres, making it a mega fire. Further north in Utah, the Monroe Canyon fire is now more than 58,000 acres. The governor declared a state of emergency after nearly 700 wildfires have ripped through the state this year. The current fire season has crews all across the West enduring brutal conditions with little rest.
The type of fire that is burning right now and what is projected, they probably will be down there for the full 14 days.
Containment on the Gifford fire has actually dropped from 5% down to 3%. It is burning just on the edge of where the Madre fire was burning last month. Firefighters are hoping that the burn scar from that blaze will at least help this fire from moving in that direction. Jason Allen, CBS News in Santa Maria, California.
Thank you very much. You know, this weekend we had the first alert weather days up. We don't have one today. As a matter of fact, it was canceled yesterday late in the afternoon. So that's really good. Also canceled, along with the red flag warning, was the wind advisory. So everything is almost back to normal. We still have some small craft advisories up for portions of Hawaiian waters around Maui and Hawaii Island. Still dry and breezy. We'll go through your full forecast coming up in minutes.
And thousands of students are back in class today as the new school year kicks off for public schools. And there you can see some taking the electronic bikes, which is really highly not recommended for those who are under the age of 15 years old. Officials are stressing that road safety on the busy streets during the morning and afternoon rush. Honolulu EMS, as we were saying, fears that some students will use these bikes to get to school. Again, they want to remind the public that on Oahu, all e-bike riders must be, or rather under the age of 17, must wear a helmet to prevent head injuries. Now, meanwhile, some parents are upset over how school officials are handling transportation. 9 bus routes are suspended on Maui and Hawaii Island because of the ongoing driver shortage. As an alternative, education officials are offering a carpool service for a small area that's still affected. Parents can use the app Go Kid to arrange carpools for their keiki, but some aren't convinced it's a safe alternative.
It's going to be with random parents that we don't know. It doesn't make parents feel very safe to join an app that anyone can just sign up. And now if it's like statewide, people know that you can start driving around kids, which does not make parents feel any better.
The rideshare program is not mandatory. We reached out to the Department of Education for comment, and we're waiting to hear back.
Kiakua with their kupuna, with all those that have given life to them, and then once again, into these facilities.
Hawaii's Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke and education leaders spoke at the opening and blessing for 3 newly renovated classrooms at Waialae Elementary Public Charter School. One of the new classrooms is a preschool classroom. It's part of the state's Ready Keiki plan to ensure access to preschool for all of Hawaii's 3- and 4-year-olds. And coming up, the manhunt continues for the suspect wanted for killing 4 people in Montana. Stay with us for the latest on that. Plus, Thousands of Boeing employees are on strike. We'll have the latest on that and how this will affect the output of the company's military products right after the break. And welcome back. A manhunt in Montana is in its fourth day. Police are searching for an Army veteran accused of killing 4 people in a bar. Omar Villafranca is in the small town of Anaconda with the latest.
We're going to catch this guy.
Law enforcement in western Montana believe Michael Paul Brown is still in the area around Anaconda. That's where the 45-year-old is accused of killing 4 people at the Owl Bar Friday morning. Bartender Nancy Loretta Kelly and 3 patrons, Daniel Edwin Bailey, David Allen Leach, and Tony Wayne Palm.
This is a dangerous individual who has committed an absolutely heinous crime against this community and these victims.
Police say Brown, an Iraq War veteran, stole a vehicle that had clothes and camping gear inside of it. And while hundreds of officers continue the search behind me on this mountain, residents remain on edge.
It's an uneasy feeling knowing that there's someone out there that has the capacity to do this and we don't know where they are.
Authorities say the suspect lived next to the bar and was a regular there. People who know Brown claim he has mental health issues.
Michael always had fictitious stories that he would be telling people, and it seemed just like long tales.
A memorial is growing outside the Owl Bar.
The whole town is just heartbroken.
Jill Rolls says Nancy Kelly cared for everyone in town.
She has a huge heart. She loves animals. Every animal loved her. She walked around town carrying bones for all the dogs. She was just a great person, would do anything for anybody.
There's a $7,500 reward for information that leads to Brown's arrest. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Anaconda, Montana.
Now, several thousand Boeing workers are on strike at 3 manufacturing plants where the company makes military aircraft and weapons. The strike started early today at 2 different Boeing facilities, one in Missouri and the other in Illinois. More than 3,000 local members of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers voted to reject a modified labor agreement that included a 20% wage increase over 4 years and bonuses. Workers on the picket line say they will wait for a better offer.
I will be out here on my shift every day until the new contract is offered and we ratify a new one. I am betting that this is going to be a long strike. It's nerve-wracking because I don't know where my income's going to come in for the time being. I mean, some of us are going to have to go find second jobs.
Now, last year, more than 30,000 Boeing workers who assembled jetliners walked off the job for close to 8 weeks. Now, from one island culture to another, find out why these students from Okinawa are doing here in Hawaii. Also, Billy V will be back with your full island forecast. That's coming up on This Is Now.
First Alert Weather with Billy V.
Thank you very much. Hopefully your commute was good today as far as your Monday is concerned with the back-to-school conditions. We'll talk about that. Of course, you can make sure you get the latest this afternoon. Let's talk about the waves for a couple of minutes for your First Alert Weather. Here's your wave heights: 1 to 3 up in the North Shore, small. West side's 4 to 6, 68 over in the town spots, and 3 to 5 over on the east-facing shorelines. Your UV index is going to be at 13. That's going to hold for the day today. Here is your 7-day forecast for you. We're going to start off with, of course, Monday today. Easterly winds 15 to 20 plus miles per hour. Not as breezy as this weekend, but your daytime high is still going to be warm, 89%. Not much precipitation out there and a lot of sunshine to boot. Tuesday, we're going to see pretty much the same thing. We'll have the trade winds back and it'll be just nice weather for you. Coming up on Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to have what used to be Tropical Storm Gil. It's winding down to a tropical depression. Hopefully, it'll be a remnant low by the time that it gets close enough north of us. Moisture may get into the trade wind flow, and so we're going to have some light winds here as it cuts off the trades, but we'll still get some moisture for Wednesday and Thursday. As we get in towards Friday and through the rest of the week, it's just going to be really nice weather. That's your 7-day forecast. Get the latest at hawaiinewsnow.com.
And much mahalo, Billy V. Now, dozens of high school students from Okinawa gathered at Ala Moana Regional Park to celebrate the end of their 2-week homestead program. Students from Chatan and Kendana studied English and Hawaiian history at Tokai University in West Oahu. They spent the day eating food and playing games as their time in the islands came to an end. Organizers and members of the Hawaii Okinawan community say programs like these help to strengthen the cultural connections between the two places.
We're in our 5th, 6th generation of Okinawans here. We want them to get in touch with their friends and relatives in Okinawa. Similarly, the students that come from Okinawa to know that there's this Uchinanchu presence in Hawaii and people here who are maintaining these traditions and cultures here in Hawaii. They know that it's someplace they can feel they have a second home.
Now, next year, the group will celebrate its 100th year bringing students to the islands. Well, this year, they are celebrating the 125 years since the first Okinawans or Uchinanchu immigrants came to the islands of Hawaii. And this week also marks the 80th anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima, and a large memorial ceremony is planned. Casey Lund and Ashley Nagaoka have our exclusive coverage.
Aloha from Hiroshima. This is our first full day, and boy, it was a busy one. Of course, we got in last night on the train from Tokyo. I want to talk about last night in a moment, but let's start with how our day began at City Hall, a really special moment.
Yeah, so Hiroshima Mayor Kazumi Matsuri, he presented Mayor Blangiardi what they call the Honorary Citizen Award. It's given to individuals who make significant contributions to promoting peace and international understanding. The council was there to greet him. The city workers were there. It was a really special moment.
Yeah, it should be mentioned that Hiroshima, of course, is our sister city, our oldest sister city.
That's right. So Honolulu is actually Hiroshima's first sister city. It's a relationship that began 66 years ago. And if you think about it, their friendship, their sister city relationship started 14 years after the war ended. These two places that were once at war with each other formed this bond. You can tell how much respect and friendship exists between the two cities to this day, 66 years later.
Absolutely. And after we left City Hall, a really powerful experience that I don't think any of us were prepared for. And that is the Peace Museum, where they have images of not only explosion, but people's injuries, the bodies that were piling up, the orphans that had no parents. It was a really heavy moment. We toured that with the mayor, and as we came out, there were other media there as well. Local TV station with Hiroshima, and it had a press conference set up. The mayor, this was kind of unexpected, I think, but he was able to make a statement. I want to take a listen to a little bit of what he had to say.
This walk through this museum was one of the most powerful and deeply moving experiences of my life. My heart hurts for the amount of suffering and death that it took place here. Albeit 80 years ago in 1945, I think its memory still lives all the way through today.
Really powerful experience. Those images are tough to see, but we need to see them.
Absolutely, and I think something that really stood out was it was crowded while we were going through there, but our guide who was with us said this is actually slow, and that just shows how popular and attended this museum is, which is so important because people need to know what happened here to ensure that it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, today we did some other things as well, but we're going to hold on to those because we got a lot of stories to tell, and we're going to bring them to you. But I want to go back to last night, and we got in, like I mentioned, we barely had enough time to check in, get our gear plugged in, and then off to dinner, and we had a very special guest with us.
Yeah, we didn't know this, but Mayor Blangiardi is going to be sitting down with Koko Kondo. She is an A-bomb survivor. She was 8 months old at the time of the bombing, August 6, 1945. So of course she was too young to remember the actual events of that day, but her stories of growing up in the aftermath were so powerful, so emotional. She still, 80 years later, becomes overwhelmed with tears talking about it. And she's made it her mission, her life mission, to tell the stories of Hiroshima to ensure that another tragedy like this doesn't happen again.
I don't want any other country's people to go through the same thing. No, because we are same human beings. I care. I never met those, people, but as a human beings, I care. I don't want them to go through it. Like people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I don't want anyone to go through that. That means we don't need that bomb.
Yeah, so again, we are here for August 6th, the peace ceremony that's going to happen. It happens every year, but this is the 80th anniversary, and I can tell you what, Ash, the fact that Honolulu's mayor, the only U.S. elected official that we know of, is in attendance means a great deal to the folks here.
Yes, we've heard that from everyone we've met with. They're so thankful that Mayor Blangiardi is in town, and we're grateful to be here covering this event.
Yeah, we have, absolutely. We have exclusive access to all this, and we're grateful to be able to bring it to you back home. We've got a lot to do. It's very muggy here, so we're working through that as well. But again, this is just a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Grateful to be sharing with you. So for Ashley Nagaoka, I'm Casey Lund in Hiroshima for Hawaii News Now.
And coming up next, time to say see you later, alligator. We'll tell you what that's all about, coming up right after the break. check this out. A deputy sheriffs in the St. Johns County of Florida came to rescue when a resident, get this, found an alligator lounging in the backyard pool. The deputy was able to fish the juvenile alligator out of the water. However, the gator did not seem to be too happy about its pool time being over. The deputy put the little uninvited guest in the backseat of his patrol vehicle. And that's for an all-expense-paid trip to a nearby pond where the little one was released unharmed. Just another day, I guess you could say, for Florida law enforcement. Now, after 2 weeks on the run, police finally captured a 5-foot-long monitor lizard named Goose, who escaped from a home in Massachusetts. The lizard became a local sensation as it was seen wandering around New England. Goose was being kept as a pet illegally when he leapt out of a second-floor window. He now has a new home at a nonprofit animal sanctuary. No humans or reptiles were injured during this report. Well, it's 12:28. Hey, stay tuned. Hawaii's only local news at 5:30 starts in 2 minutes on KHNL. Mahalo for watching. This is Now. To read and watch more, see another of these stories on our website. Have a good afternoon.